1990. Place, Hotel Slavia, Belgrade. My parents, brother Shri and I are packing our bags, getting ready to go to the airport to catch our flight back to Kuwait. Suddenly, there's a loud knock on the door. A hotel staffer shouts out, Kuwait airport closed. Iraq attacked Kuwait. All flights cancelled. We lived in Bangalore with full intentions of returning to Kuwait after the war. Unfortunately, on March 10, 1992, my father prematurely passed away. I was only 6 years old, and my older brother Shri was 14. 4 years later, I started noticing that my brother was disappearing somewhere every evening after school. One day, curiosity got the better of me, and I started following him. It turned out that he frequented the neighborhood snooker club, 2 blocks away from our house. I observed him play with his friends on the green base for 3 consecutive weeks, trying to understand what the sport was all about. I was pretty fascinated with the game, and one day I asked him if I could play a shot. Sweet brother that he is, he let me, although I could barely reach the table. After carefully chalking the cue, aligning myself, and forming my bridge, I struck the ball hard. Everyone was astounded, most of all myself. This is how I was introduced to the game, and the love affair continues. It was an unusual sport for a 10-year-old to get into. Most kids my age and even older were more into outdoor sports like cricket, football, hockey, etc. I too enjoyed these games. In fact, I was the captain of my class cricket team, which I thought was a great thing back then. Little did I know how where my foray into few sports would take me. As a firm believer in destiny, I'm convinced that the game chose me and not the other way around. There was no sport that mesmerized me the way that billiards and snooker did. Today, I'd like to share with each and every one of you what the game has taught me. We've all heard of the adage, seeing is believing. This is applicable in places, say a court of law. There are 2 parties with completely different viewpoints and a judge and a jury with no prior knowledge of the case. Evidence, witness testimonies, etc. are produced by both sides to make their case. Here, you need to see to believe. What if we turn this around? Believing is. For years, scientists, analysts, and athletes proclaimed that it was impossible to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Many tried and failed until one person defied all odds and achieved what was once considered impossible, breaking the 4-minute barrier. His name, Roger Bannister. 70 years ago, he accomplished this feat because he was the only one who believed and then saw it happen. Since then, dozens of athletes have attained this distinction because they saw and then believed. But it was Roger Bannister who was the trailblazer. In few sports, like in several aspects of life, I was told that specialization refers to singularity. I wanted to redefine that. I had just won my maiden men's world snooker title in China at the age of 18 on debut. I was over the moon as no one expected me to win a world title so soon. But this was not enough for me. I wanted to become more. I believed I could also excel in billiards and told my coach Arvind Savul this. He started laughing. He said, it can't be done, Pankaj. Just stick to snooker. Your future lies there. All few sports lovers, players, and coaches said that you can specialize only in one, either billiards or snooker. But I was adamant. I thought to myself, why can't I create techniques that are unique and suitable for each of the 2 different sports? Just to help you understand better, billiards is played with 3 balls that requires a player to strike the top of the ball, the cue ball, at most times. So I raised my bridge, I kept it higher, and increased my swing to allow maximum follow through for optimum results. On the other hand, in snooker, the cue ball needs more of center and bottom striking. Accordingly, I flattened my bridge, restricted my swing, so that I could achieve maximum cue ball control. Although billiards and snooker are played on the same table, the techniques and scoring patterns are poles apart. Nobody believed that a fewest could win world titles in both sports consistently. I'm happy that I proved them wrong. And I think I've done a pretty decent job. I believe I've done a pretty decent job in redefining the concept of specialization. Sometimes we are made to believe that drastic changes are necessary to turn things around, but in reality, maybe a slight tweak here or there could make a world of difference. Now, everybody loves and chases success, but what about failure? I believe failure is never final, although we find it difficult to accept it every time we go through one. A classic case in point is of an iconic tennis player, a legend and my personal favorite, and I'm sure the favorite of many of you sitting over here, Roger Federer, the one and only. Do you know, after winning 16 Grand Slams, Federer was unable to win a major title in 30 months. His younger competitors were getting sharper and stronger. Tennis was becoming more of a power and fitness game. So what did he do? He went back to the drawing board, reinvented himself, made changes to his game. Result? He went on to win his 7th Wimbledon title and his 17th Grand Slam. Failure did not break Federer. It only made him a more complete player. What we can learn from Federer is to accept failure and embrace change. That's the only way to grow. The choice is ours. When I started competing in few sports at the age of 11, I wasn't taken seriously at all. People made fun of me, told me I should stand on a stool and play. My mom always told me, it's not how tall you are in height, it's how tall your deeds are. As kids, we're always made fun of because of our size and our audacity to dream big. Like when I won my first tournament at the age of 11, a journalist asked me what I'd like to become when I grew up. I answered a businessman because that's what my father had been. As an afterthought, I added, I also want to become world champion one day. I was teased about my answer by many senior players. Some said he has too much muscle. Others said one victory and he wants to become world champion, and so on. The point here is that there is no set age for dreaming big and sowing the seed of success in our minds. We should never laugh at people's aspirations, even though they may seem unrealistic at the time. But what is success? How do we define it? Is it fame, name, money, awards, peace of mind, happiness? Over the years, I'll tell you my definition of success has changed. As a student, it meant scoring distinctions in all exams. Not that I was ever a topper or came close to it. As a beginner, winning a medal of any color meant success. A little later, only gold medals became my new definition of success. In short, it was only about the destination. As I evolved with age, I realized it was more about the journey, a state of mind that makes you feel empowered and resourceful. Contrary to this, whether it's in the corporate world, sports, cinema, or any field, success is measured by targets, numbers, and records. Now, what if we were to develop a state of mind where we felt limitless? But how do we do this? First of all, start taking responsibility for your own actions. Stop being the victim. Instead, why not focus on our own resourcefulness, creativity, determination, passion, and drive? We tend to look outside instead of within. I never realized the importance of inner talk until I started working with my brother Shri, who is now a sports psychologist. A simple practice which has helped me shed unnecessary baggage and bring me to the present is the letting go technique. And I would like all of you seated here to try this with me. So we take a deep breath, and while inhaling, we say let. And while exhaling, we say go. The whole idea behind this is to let positivity in and negativity out. For me, two other factors are very important for staying positive and productive on our journey. These are: 1, stop comparing yourself with others, and 2, live in the present. There was a swimmer, Michael Zeller, from Stanford University, supremely talented, but could never finish first in a race. His coach told him 6 words that changed his life. In the next competition, he applied those 6 words, finished first. And what was this magic mantra? Just swim in your own lane. Zeller's problem was that his attention was more on the other lanes instead of his own, which cost him precious seconds. And that's huge in a sport like swimming. The moment he focused only on his performance, he was a different athlete. Then there's a movie based on true events, The Peaceful Warrior, that advocates the significance and impact of living in the present moment. It is a story of how a coach guides his student, a gymnast who is handicapped, to realize his true potential and his full potential. In the last scene, the coach asks him 3 questions. Where are you? The student says, here. What time is it? Student says, now. What are you? He replies, this moment. The gymnast then goes on to give the performance of his life. That is the power of living in the now.